Here we go, AKAPADers. We have something far from Star Wars past. Something that comes from an era that we collectively have forgotten. And I'm your host. Welcome to my channel. Peter A. DeLuca here, the world sketchbook champion, aka PAD, the eclectic one. I need some of this before we can get into it. Alright. What am I talking about? Well, look. We know from back here, okay, all of this. And anyone that follows my streams and my content and my videos, I love books. I love dissecting books. I love thinking about books. I love researching, you guessed it, books. And in my journeys, I came across this. Let me read you the cover. The Prelude and Prequel Sketchbook, Reimagining Star Wars. Now, before I bought this, I was fully able to research the author, Timothy J. Stephany. He's a firsty. Found him on the World Wide Web. And I just feel like I have to show you this guy's current website just to add the real context into what I'm holding in my hand here. We know who this guy is. Everyone, this is Dallas. That's my boy. Oh, a little feisty. But okay, so here's his website. This is the URL. Now, it goes to a different domain, but it's, you guys can see, I mean, we got articles here of the Bermuda Triangle. Good stuff. And the site's, a lot of it's incomplete. It just looks like it was just never set up. Clearly a WordPress website. This menu too doesn't, it should go all the way down, but it doesn't. But yeah, and the crazy thing is, there's some things on here, some mysteries of the ancient world that I wasn't even that familiar with. We're back. All right, so Timothy comes from a vein of fandom that was more or less obsessed with the unknown. Arthur C. Clarke, Leonard Nimoy both used to have shows on cable television, and you would just like watch these unknown, like Chariot of the Gods, like TV shows. And Star Wars at one time, like it fell right into place with that, because Star Wars just somehow like triggered a generation to really be obsessive and to dream big. And a lot of the unknown, the Bermuda Triangle, for example, it just fell into that practice. But I want to flip through this with all of you, because I feel like what Timothy did here with this book, and I pretty much knew what I was like getting into pre-purchase, because and I couldn't wait for this book to arrive. Mostly because I wanted it to like be confirmed that it was what I thought it was, and this is like it's just his ideas of how some of this Star Wars stuff should look, and some of the explanations of the droids, the vehicles, the helmet pieces, and it's not exactly fan fiction, and it's not exactly a portfolio piece. It's a little bit of both, and I feel like when it comes to things like the Iron Generation of media, the Iron Gen as they call it, or like the new media, so much of you and me, I feel like we should be doing something like this, because this is also like part Zen. The cross section of this actual book, it's fascinating. I believe that Timothy has a template here that has to be replicated, and I just feel like that it should be our mission to replicate this, because it's a ton of fun. I haven't read it all, most of it, but let's get into this. Here we go, AKAPADers. At the table, cheers. Alright, so let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. And look, no exaggeration. I couldn't wait to see if this is what I thought it was. It's just beside me that Timothy did his own version of one of these. Like, he did his own version of this. You know, like he said, I'm going to do that. So my curiosity for this was how close is it? Like, how good's the artwork? How good are the descriptions? What's the intro? What does he say about what we're about to see? New designs and weapons, vehicles, robots, spacecraft, creatures were required to breathe new life to bring sense of fun and adventure back into the space fantasy series. So he doesn't say Star Wars. See the rare collection of design sketches. So, like, in a way, if you didn't know any better, if you were like a grandmother buying this, you might think this was made by Star Wars people. You might think that this was licensed through Lucasfilm, stamped and approved, but it's not. Reimagining Star Wars. 2014. Again, here's Steven's website. Still active, still live. You guys already saw that. Contents: robots, androids, ships, fighters, max helmets, locations, equipment, aliens, creatures, and the lithium key. So we jump right into it. So there's no introduction, there's no preface. He doesn't even set up the story that he's riffing on, meaning Prelude and Prequel. So he doesn't set up anything. So we just have, look, he's with this level of illustration, it's not the quality, but it's almost like he's trying to show off that these ideas are thought out and that they're, like, quote unquote designed and they have a purpose and things don't exist unless, like, they're here. Okay, so, like, some of his descriptions go into storyline elements, and you can see this one with K18TT. I mean, it's like you kind of just want to say you should have just got the best work you could show off and just make a full page and have, like, a decent description. But yeah, like, the people in hell went people in hell want hot water or cold water, right? I mean, we don't always get what we want. Battle droid, arena robot, like, now this one's like almost like IG-88 base. So, like, some of these ideas too, like, we saw some of these things in Mandalorian, we saw them in the new trilogy. But I just really was like, and I was more or less super excited to see the ships, because everyone wants to design their Star Wars ships, and we have something great here, actually. We have the Nightclaw. Hold up here. The Clone Hunter, which is almost like Vader-esque. Anakin Starkiller. So again, going into, like, the lore of the creation of Star Wars itself. You know, it wasn't Luke Skywalker, it was like Luke Starkiller. But, you know, we later saw. But this is actually the Anakin Starkiller fighter here is a legit design. When I see this, I imagine it in the palm of my hand. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it could be better. I'm not saying it could be worse. See, I like the design sketch here, where it's just, like, super loose and it's almost like a gesture drawing. I mean, this is good too. I do like the thrusters here. Other ships, we have. I mean, like, this is almost close to the Bowie from Guardians of the Galaxy. Smuggler's Craft. I do like the 2001 influence here, or the Space 1999. You know, Dune influence here. And this is kind of cool. So here, he does, like, almost like a simile. I guess this is like the villain. This is one of the, the prequel stormtroopers. We'll call them. But here we go. Anakin's breath mask. And there's, like, I guess he wrote underwater sequence, but the whole idea is that it mimics Vader's helmet. you know, like a Vader's mouthpiece almost. And, you know, again, like looking ahead into the future, finding those notes, again, rhymes, you know, like finding things that are similar, locations and equipment. This is where we kind of get a little bit tough. The Citadel, the Capital, I do like the Cloud City lean. So, like, a lot of these things, like, you know, like, people will knock, they'll knock some of the execution here, but what he's trying to do is he's trying to connect the trilogies. He's trying to connect more in one film, more in one idea. And you do this by, you know, basically doing what we see in a lot of these reboots or re-sequels or reboot sequels nowadays, where they do the member berries and they give us enough to keep us going. You know, we saw it in Ghostbusters, the new one, Ghostbusters Forever, or whatever the hell that's called. Scavenger's Vehicle, I think this is the absolute worst design and idea in this. His description mostly is like who's using this within the story, and you don't know what came first sometimes. Like, did some of the designs come first, and then it's so confusing. Like, what came first? Came first, the story or the designs, or back and forth? But again, like, this is part of the fascination that was all about Star Wars. Swamp natives. I mean, we did see swamp creatures in Star Wars, the Ugums. You know, again, like, just attempting to do things that are, like, a little bit, like, fun and whimsical, and you know, it's there. Like, the attempts and the ideas are there. I do kind of want to reach out to him. So, Stephen, or Timothy, Timothy, you may hear from me if I can track you down. I don't know if your contact info works on your website. All right, AKAPADers. Okay, people, subscribe, support, leave a comment. I mean, yeah, support this channel. We have books on our heads here, but no, look. I'm just trying to get some of my thoughts together. What I'm really trying to say with putting this video out there, anything you do lasts forever. I mean, everything we do here on the internet, any comment that you leave, it lasts forever. Anything you produce, any energy you put into the universe, it transfers. And I feel like the excitement that Timothy had, like, you know, like, I could just imagine him, like, waiting to get your copies of this, and you're kind of like foaming at the mouth to see what it turned out to look like, right? I feel like we need some of that. We can go into anything we want, and we can correct it. If we don't like the MCU, we can correct it. If we don't like the DC EU, we can correct it. If we don't like the Wildcats comic book anymore, we can correct it. Okay, it's fandom, but it's also the professional side of being a professional, meaning we strive to make good product, we strive to make the best product, but, you know, having project-based things to work on. Like, things that may have a deadline, and they may have a budget, and they may offer avenues of collaboration. We should pursue these things, and also never give up on the ones that we have that are lagging, the projects that are yet to be complete. Look, you guys know I fall into this category, but yeah, I try and work on myself every single day. There's only a few days out of the week that I don't. Usually Monday through Friday, I'm working on Trial by Fire, or UZI SUZI, my next Wolfpack trading cards, and yeah, I'm fulfilling orders and doing all of that fun stuff. But there is so much to learn from Timothy's effort here, and I just feel like we're in like a zone where you know, like, where we're going crazy over the next Indiana Jones. Like, let's correct it. We can make our own. We can put our own material out there, one day to be discovered, and that's the contribution. You know, like, Timothy is reaching me, and now he's going to reach all of you, and this is where everything you put out there, it gets discovered, it gets found, it gets broadcast. AKAPAD here, everyone. Rock and roll.